All right, so I've already explained in other videos how to essentially measure out a new cord when you don't have one that's intact to kind of measure off of. But I realized I didn't do it through the pocket door, so I just want to show you that real quick. So I've already kind of explained everything in the other videos, so I'm going to do this one quite fast. To show you where I'm at, I've pulled off the inner rail using this, and now I've got the weight over here, so I pulled the weight out of the pocket and did the pocket with the screwdriver. So now we're going to replace the rope. And again, we've got no rope in here, so I'm just going to show you how to kind of measure it out. So grab your SASH cord, or SASH rope as I call it sometimes. And what we're going to do, we're going to pull it off here. Again, I give it about an inch or more above the length of the frame, so you measure it from the bottom to the top of the frame plus a few inches. Then you just go ahead and cut it. Try to cut your fingers off. All right, I'm gonna put the knife away. I'm gonna put the cord away, and again, we're using Samson spot cord, which I think is the best. Okay, so here, it's about the length that we want. So when you're working through a window weight pocket door, you know it's a little bit different because you're kind of you can't really see everything that you're doing. So we're just gonna you kind of got to feel for it. So you shove this down into the hole, into the window, or to the window pocket here, and you kind of hope that the string is gonna come through. And here it did. It was like no problem, came right through. If it didn't come through easily, either try again, or you can take a coat hanger, kind of jam it up in there, move it around, and kind of pull the string out, which I've had to do a few times. Okay? So that works well too, but we didn't have to use that here. So here we are. The string is through, and now we basically have to kind of measure out how much we need. So the first step is to take and tie a pretzel knot here. Okay? And now once the pretzel knot, you can pull this out without it coming through over here. All right, and then go ahead and tie your weight. Now since we're tying it, we're going to tie it a little bit differently because we don't have the full length of the rope to work with. So what I do is I come under, I tie it over, kind of make a figure eight, and I pull it back through, and I kind of get it nicely situated on there. And I tighten it up as much as possible. And then you can even kind of pull it on a little bit. All right, so there you go. It's kind of like a figure eight. Like I said in the other videos, you want a figure eight. Not like this because as the weight hangs, it actually pulls on itself, and that keeps it from falling through, which is what you want. So I'm just going to do it again one more time real quick. It's an easy knot. And this is how I got it so tight. Okay. So you take the weight, you pull this through, you come up like this, you go behind, kind of over in front, like that, and you push it through the loop. It creates this kind of figure eight look, and you just tighten it on itself. Pull it, kind of push that down a little, and voila, you got the knot. Okay, so you take it, you put it in here, gently, so it doesn't fall through the bottom of your weight pocket. Okay, and now you can see that this slides up and down very nicely. Okay, so on a sash, the rope connects to the sash generally right about the middle of the sash. Okay, so here we know that the middle of the sash sits about right here, approximately. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come here and make sure that it's not hitting the top of the pulley. If you hear this, okay, here, listen. If you hear that, that means the rope is too short. You need to make it longer, and you need to recut your rope. But what you want is you hear this, and then drop it down about 2 inches or so, and that's about where you want it. Okay, and then here the rope is probably a little bit long, so we're gonna have to cut it slightly. So what we're gonna do is we'll look at it, and I'm only gonna cut off maybe an inch or two. Don't worry, you just cut it again. Okay. So I cut off probably 3 to 4 inches there. I'm going to tie another pretzel knot. Okay, so it's not hitting, and then when it comes up, it'll rest about right here. You also don't want to hear this. Well, let's see if I got it lined up. Okay, you don't want that. Hear that? That means that the weight is hitting the bottom of the pocket. If you do that enough times over the years, it can mess up the bottom of the pocket and actually fall through or hurt it. So you don't want that. So you don't want it hitting the top. You don't want it hitting the bottom. So what you want to hear is just, well, it's popping out. Let's see. You want it about right here, all the way down. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put the sash in and test it. Put it right back. Tell me back. Here's the sash. All right, so I've got this side already tied up. So I'm going to tie it in. And I am just putting it into the hole on the side of the sash here. Okay. Now I'm going to take this one. And if you want to come closer so you guys can see, we're going to take this pretzel knot and we're going to put it right into the side of the sash, into this little hole. Now if you look, you notice the hole is right smack dab in the center of the sash. So that's about right where you want it. Okay, so it's in. And now we're going to slide it back in and we're going to test it without putting everything back together. So as it sits here, you can see we still have room. We have about 1 inch or 2 before it hits the top, so it's perfect. It sits perfect when it's here. And then we're going to raise it up. And even with it raised all the way here, you can see the bottom of the weight is still pretty high, so that's good. Like we have another 6 or 8 inches before it even gets close to hitting the bottom. You can see even if we take it all the way to the top, that weight is still hanging nicely. So that means that we've hung it perfectly and that's the right amount of rope. So what you do then, now that we've tested it, we're going to pull it back out. Okay. Take it out on this side. And then what I'm going to do is I will reinstall the door to the little pocket here. I'm going to screw it in, and then I'll put the sash back in like I just demonstrated. And then you put this back on to hold it, as I've shown in the other videos, and then you're all done. That's it. All right, thanks.